All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are going to take a break from all the football madness. It's kind of like we're doing the football podcast again, but we are going to talk about something that's a big deal in another sport, and that's baseball. Talking about the Yankees losing Gerrit Cole for the year. I did see something on social media that the Rams releasing Cooper Kupp, a team that you can maybe watch out for to sign him, possibly. Again, it's just a rumor. Is the Vikings. I was reading, the coaching staff supposedly loves Cooper Kupp. If they have the cap space to bring him in, make him that third option. Imagine an offense with Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson. I mean, obviously Kupp is not, he's been injured the last few years, but still, like, you get him on a cheap deal with them two, Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson. If it's J.J. McCarthy starting, he is going to have an embarrassment of riches at wide receiver. But I just wanted to bring that up. Also, I apologize that my laptop was glitching out a little bit before, and that's why, when I was trying to go to the next commercial that we play during our break, I ended up clicking on one of the other graphics. So I apologize for that. But anyways, let's talk some baseball. So, the Yankees, they lose Gerrit Cole for the year to Tommy John surgery. So, last week, I, was scrolling through, so I open up Instagram on my phone, and the first thing I see is a picture of Gerrit Cole, and it was a post by one of the Yankee fan accounts that I follow. And I knew right away Gerrit Cole's hurt. And once I read that and I saw elbow, I knew it's not good. Because he dealt with an elbow injury last year, but they were able to manage through it. It wasn't, the worst case scenario. Gerrit Cole ended up missing some time, but he was able to come back and, pitched okay in the regular season, but he was great in the postseason. And you do have to wonder, him throwing 99 miles an hour in that Game 5 to try to get out of that jam. That's why we're where we are right now. He emptied the tank in that World Series. Just like Giancarlo Stanton. He emptied the tank in that postseason. And now both of those guys, two key contributors to the Yankees World Series run last year, are not going to be a factor. Stanton could come back, but Cole is not going to be a factor in 2025. And you're not going to see him until probably next summer. And it just, not only does it stink for the Yankees, but it just stinks for baseball. Because Gerrit Cole is one of the best pitchers in baseball. And pitchers are just going down left and right. It's been happening for a long time. But the body can't handle, throwing 99 miles an hour and, throwing these, these different ways of pitches. And, once Gerrit Cole dealt with the elbow injury last year, I was hoping that maybe the Yankees would have got past it, but it reared its ugly head, and I knew the Yankees were not going to get lucky twice, and he's going to go and get Tommy John. And this spring training has really put a damper on what was, I thought, a productive offseason for the Yankees after losing Juan Soto. They went out, they got Cody Bellinger, who I think could be in for a good season for them. Not going to be Juan Soto, but I think he can have a good year. Paul Goldschmidt has looked okay in the spring. You brought in Max Fried. Max Fried is really going to have to step up now. He is now the de facto ace for the Yankees pitching staff. And then they also went out and they got Devin Williams, one of the best closers in baseball. Yankees bullpen is going to be good. Their defense is going to be improved. But there are still a lot of ifs with this team. The young guys have to step up. Who's going to be playing third base? Who's going to DH now with Giancarlo Stanton being out? There's a lot of ifs. And on top of that, you lose Gerrit Cole, but Now, you also have lost Luis Gil before that. But at least Luis Gil maybe could come back at some point later in the season. But now you're looking at a rotation with Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Marcus Stroman, Will Warren now is going to be in the rotation possibly, or Carlos Carrasco, and I forgot to mention Clark Schmidt. And when you look at the landscape of the American League is weak. So the Yankees, I think, could still make the playoffs, but I do think that this brings them back down to the pack. With all the injuries that have happened, I think this does put a dent in their chances of winning the American League East, because I do think, the Red Sox are better. You still have the Orioles to worry about. The Blue Jays, we'll see what happens. They could be better this year. And the Rays are always a team that, gives the Yankees a hard time. And the Red Sox are always a team that gives the Yankees a hard time. And now the Red Sox are better. So this could be a challenging year for the Yankees. Going into the year, this is kind of like the 2013 season, in my opinion, because the Yankees dealt with a ton of injuries beforehand. Derek Jeter was hurt, A-Rod, Teixeira, Curtis Granderson. All these guys were hurt. And I saw a lineup that they trotted out there that year, and I'm like, yep, I remember. And they won 85 games. I could definitely see that happening this year. And you gotta hope that Aaron Judge does not get hurt. Because if Aaron Judge gets hurt, it's 2023 all over again. And the thing that really upsets me is they just are continuing to waste the prime years of Aaron Judge because they haven't won anything. And now Gerrit Cole, this probably shuts the door in his prime. Now he could come back and be like Justin Verlander and win a Cy Young like Justin Verlander did. Maybe they do win a World Series with Gerrit Cole when he comes back. But the way things have been going as of late, I don't know. But you look at the years 2022 through 2024, right? 2022, Aaron Judge wins an MVP. They get to the championship series. They get swept by Houston. 2023, Gerrit Cole wins the Cy Young. They don't even make the playoffs that year. And then last year, you have the MVP in Aaron Judge. You have Juan Soto. And you also had Rookie of the Year, Luis Gil. And you got to the World Series. Now, Luis Gil really didn't factor that much into the post. I mean, he did make a start in the championship series and in the World Series. But again, he won Rookie of the Year. That was another Yankee that won an award. And they lost in the World Series to the Dodgers. Now this year, you lose Juan Soto, and now you've lost Giancarlo Stanton, who had a big postseason, and you lost Gerrit Cole, who was your ace. And you also lost Luis Gil for an extended period of time. So can the Yankees get up from this? Can they make the playoffs? Absolutely. But are they World Series contenders? Absolutely not. They're not. I think they're a wild card team at best right now. That's how I feel. The pessimistic side of me as a Yankee fan has reared its ugly head. But that's where we're at. I do think that they can make a move at some point. Everyone's talking about Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins, and you look at some of the free agents out there, Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson, and the Padres with Dylan Cease and Michael King. The Padres are going to be good. I don't think they're going to trade them. I mean, if they're bad, maybe the Yankees try to get Michael King back. That would be great. But also, because the Yankees are desperate, teams are going to say, hey, we want Dominguez, we want Spencer Jones, we want all these top prospects. And the Yankees really don't have a deep farm system. I think they were ranked like 24th. They're not going to be looking to trade away those guys. So it's tough right now. And also people keep floating the idea of Trevor Bauer. Enough. He's been out of baseball for years now. Nobody is signing him. Give it up. Give it a rest. It's not happening. But Brian Cashman recently said there's not a lot that's out there. And they said that a lot of the issues that they're going to solve with is solving it internally. So, yeah, I mean, at the trade deadline, I would expect them to do something. But they're also going to let this play out. And if this team is really struggling in the rotation, they're going to have to make a move. Because Marcus Stroman, I really think he's going to be bad this year. He was good in the first half of the year, but then he kind of fell off. He's a guy that relies on location. And if he's not locating his pitches properly, I mean, we've seen it. If you watch spring training, if you watch some of his starts with the Yankees and, even going back to last year, he gives up home runs. And he's a ground ball pitcher. That's why the Yankees got him. But it's not going to matter. The ball's going to be going in the seats. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I am worried about the Yankees' rotation. I'm definitely worried about it. Max Fried's going to have to step up. Thankfully, the Yankees brought him in. Rodon was good in the postseason. That stretch in July was brutal. But hopefully, he steps up. Clark Schmidt hopefully can stay healthy. That's the other thing, too, is I think the Yankees are going to see even more injuries. I don't think it's going to stop with the guys that they've lost already. I think they're going to lose even more guys. But again, I hope I am wrong. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think, though, about the Cole injury and the impact of that. And that is pretty much it for the show for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out all the other shows as well. Make sure to subscribe to both YouTube channels. Make sure to leave a like and comment on the video. Greatly appreciate that. And until next time, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.